All right? It is possible to money condition your mind. And I want you to say with me in the first person, it is possible to money condition my mind. Come on.
It is possible to money condition my mind.
Some of you didn't say it with too much conviction. Come on.
It is possible to money condition my mind.
And I do it right now. You can so money condition your mind that you never have another money problem. And I know it because I did it. You see, I'm not standing here talking theory. We have some wonderful books out there on the shelf, and I hope some of you buy some of them, because they will help you to condition your mind for the good which you desire. But the stuff that I use, and what I tell you here is not something that I read in some book just before I got here, even though I do read a lot of books. But everything that I tell you, I've tried. I was talking to a cousin of mine that I hadn't seen in a long time about the first of this week. He was working his way to NYU, working on an degree in accounting. The same time I was in Bible school trying to scrape nickels for the subway. So he visited me and looked around and said, "You know, you're doing all right." I said, "You know, I'd be ungrateful if I denied it." I said to him, "You know, I got out of the Air Force in 1958, about the middle of a so-called recession. And I remember the days at the house when you didn't have a job. And I didn't have one. And then finally the state decided to give unemployment compensation to the veterans. And of course I came under that heading. It wasn't welfare, but I tell you, in those days I would have accepted any kind of fare." And the unemployment payments that I got came to $30 a week. I forget for how many months. Maybe it was about a year. Out of that $30 a week, I managed to help buy a little food, put in the house, subway fare, and send a couple of dollars to my mother, and put a few dollars in the bank. How the hell I did it with $30, I don't know. By almost the end of that year, I had saved up about $200 in the bank. And my good people, that $200 that I saved up from unemployment payments is what I started this ministry with. That's why you're not going to get any sympathy from me. If you make a decision in your heart to be, to do, and to have, you'll succeed. You see, while I was in that situation, I was conditioning my mind for success. I was making plans. See, some people, that's another thing. Some people don't make any plans. Ask some people here, what kind of plan do you have for your life? Most people don't have any kind of plan. Don't even have a blessing plan, some of you. Some people can't even follow the blessing plan 2 months straight. You see, and this is another secret. This is why all of the different tools and techniques that I give you, they are given for a reason and a purpose. Everybody needs to follow some kind of plan. And I mean be regular about it. You need to commit yourself to some positive idea and be regular about it. Well, you'll read it in my autobiography, but a lot of you will have the advantage of having heard me talk about these things, even when you do. A lot of different things happened, but I did go south. Things were pretty bad. They're worse than bad. I'd be embarrassed to tell you how bad. And some of these things I think I can write, but I'd be embarrassed to stand here and tell you how bad they were. I'd be even embarrassed to tell some of you some of the privations that I've suffered here in New York City. So that's why you're not going to get any sympathy from me. You see, some people come here now and they look at me and they read about the Rolls Royces I ride in, this, that, and the other. They say, oh, isn't that a shame? He's got all that. Damn that. I paid my dues. I paid the cost to be the boss. And you see, I'm trying to turn you on if you listen. Well, I guess it took me something like about 18 months, year and a half. And I learned two things that I'm always teaching in one way or the other. In every success idea, in the blessing plan, and every time I get up here, I learn two things that I'm always teaching. I learn right thinking and right giving. And I began to practice right thinking and right giving. And ever since I got into the practice and the habit of right thinking and right giving, I've never had another money problem. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't believe in me and you don't think you ought to give to this ministry, you don't have to do that. Just find something that's good that you believe in and give to it. But do it systematically. Am I laying it on the line with you? Yes. Be systematic about it. But I am going to advise you that whatever you give your money to, whatever you put it in, be sure it's something successful. I see another reason why some people give, and some people are good about doing the tithing, to religious organizations and so on, and they don't prosper and they don't know why. You just have to ask yourself the question, am I tithing to a poverty-minded organization? Because it's just like an empty Coke machine. You can put all the money in it that you want to, but if there's nothing in it, you're not going to get nothing out. Well, I put my money in this machine. I don't see why I don't get nothing out. There's nothing in the damn thing. And if you're giving your gifts and paying your tithes into something that there's no positive idea in, no success idea, no prosperous idea in, no progressive idea in, you're not going to get a damn thing out of it. And I'm going to say this, and it may seem cruel. You're not going to prosper by giving your money to beggars, whether they be preachers or beggars on the street. All you're going to get is the poverty spirit, the beggar spirit rubbed off on you. Whatever you give your substance to, you establish a very strong psychic connection with that. Now, there are rare occasions when I may give something to a beggar on the street, but when I give to him financially, I make sure that I give him a tremendous positive psychic charge at the same time. That way, there's a positive charge, there's virtue going out of me into him. And here again, most of the time, it's subconscious to subconscious. Part of it may be on the conscious level as well. But don't ever give to a beggar in the consciousness of a beggar, because both of you, it will be the blind leading the blind, and both of you will fall into the ditch. The last beggar that approached me, I wouldn't give him a damn thing. Objectively. The last beggar that approached me as I came out of the lobby of the Plaza Hotel sometime last month with his hand out. saying, please, 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 please. I looked at him and I said to him, oh, you are all right. See what I gave him? See, some of you thought, some people standing by would look and say, hey, he's cruel. I said, oh, you're all right. I looked all the way through that beggar, and I saw the Christ in him. That's who I was speaking to. I refused to see him as a beggar. You cannot lift a person any higher than your vision of that person. This was the meaning of the words of the Apostle Peter when he met the lame man at the gate of the temple. The man stretched out his hand for some money. Peter said, I'm not going to give you any silver and gold. As a matter of fact, Peter said, silver and gold have I none. Damn if I'm going to say that. But he said, such as I have, give I unto thee. But there's a meaning under that that's much more powerful than that. The true esoteric meaning is this: I'm not going to give you a beggar's pittance. I'm not going to relate to you as a beggar. I've got something better to give you than a beggar's pittance. I have the name, I have the nature of the Son of God. And I'm going to transmit this Son of God nature to you. I'm going to transmit this Son of God consciousness to you. And so in the consciousness of the Son of God, of the Christ within you, in the consciousness of Jesus, the perfect man, rise and walk. That's why you don't find me among the do-gooders. The do-gooders do more harm than they realize. Now take Peter at the gate with that poor man begging. If that had been the governor would have said, send a social worker down here and put this man on welfare. They said, well, I'm going here to the church, and I and the saints are going to take up an offering for you, and we'll bring you back. But he refused to give that man a beggar's pittance. And you see, anytime you give somebody a beggar's pittance, you impoverish yourself and you impoverish that person. That's why I told the reporter from Jet, I had about a 2-hour conference with the reporter from Jet after service on Sunday, and they're supposed to do a cover story on me. They've been doing other stories. Now maybe they'll do a straight story. And I told him a little bit about black people. I said, you black people don't need any more welfare. Welfare's killing you. Like the song says, just killing you softly. You see, you only understand what's really good, when you understand mind science. Never give to a begging spirit. Don't deal with it. And please understand me, there is a time when you give a cup of cold water. There is a time to give a bowl of soup or a meal or an article of clothing. But don't give it in the consciousness, I'm giving this to this poor little thing. Because if it was me, damn it, you could keep it, you see. And be sure that when you do give on that level, that above all that you give spiritual consciousness. Sometimes you may want to say something to the person on the conscious level about what you're giving them spiritually, and sometimes you may not want to say anything, because they may not understand it on the conscious mind level. They may not. You see, some people are not ready for you to talk to them and to approach them on the conscious level. And that's why you damn missionaries ought to turn in your papers and stop preaching on the street. Take that Christ is the answer button from the outside of your clothes and put it on the inside of your heart and let it shine. All you got buttons from this church, put them on the inside. Don't let nobody see it.